Okay, welcome to my fourth video of following on the hot on the heels of the previous video where we left us at Exon 3 of Mouse OGT and we were having designs, pun entirely intended, on CRISPR. So what we're going to do will require us accessing a few more websites, because it's one thing to have the sequence laid out in front of us. We now are going to have to literally ring in the changes, but we don't want to muck things up. So let's go not to this site, that's later. We go to, well, GenScript, who I'm not actually a customer of, but if you Google codon usage table and name any species, it will take you to this wonderful page, which features a drop-down. And what expression strain are you using? So in our case, we are going to select mouse, and then hit submit. Do not forget that part. Then, after a moment's contemplation, yep, the internet will spit out a mouse genetic code. So what we have here is for every codon, it shows the popularity of that given codon as a factor of 1. So for example, here's phenylalanine, and yes, given a choice, TTC is the preferred codon compared to TTT. You get the general idea. It's essentially a cheat sheet I always use when I'm planning a CRISPR stunt. So let's begin by attacking the area around that PAM site. So our first one, because here are the C and the C that we want to blow into the middle of next week. So ACC, what are our options? Yeah, I know this seems like an obvious question, but so let's pan down to ACC, which is lurking over here. And ACC is actually the most popular at 0.35, but we're going to have to give that one a hit. So we know that a PAM site, or maybe you don't, it can be either NGG or NAG, which does spell nag, and so basically you don't want to turn a PAM site into a nag, because that will still confer some cutting. And since we're dealing with the opposite strand, that means we don't want to turn CC into CT. Still paying attention? So that is the ACT is the one we want to avoid, but ACA, on the other hand, is an absolute peach, because as well as being very popular, it will also put the kibosh on the PAM site, because NTG is right out. Cas9, that's a big no-no. Or in our case, it's a big yes. So we run over here, and I don't change the sequence itself, but what I do is I leave myself a note. So over here in annotations, I will put a little A, because it is an A that I desire to put there. So I know in my last video I said PAM killer plus 2 changes, but I'm rarely that conservative, but in this case, because Hiss is dancing in the thing as well, let's see what we can see. So, TTG for leucine, if my amino acids are up to date. So, TTG, where are you in this here table? And I know this seems tedious, but trust me, the payoff is huge. Okay, TTG, L, but this is one of the codons where there's not just 2 over here, there are 4 over here. So we get to get a bit cute. So we were at TTC, but CTG, you get a 2 for 1, as well as being the #1 codon. Yes, the most nerdy popularity contest to win. So that's CTG right there. So let's pan over to here, and oh no, it's TTG, so CTG is not the best, well, best as in change, so let's actually swap to CTC. That's the 2 for 1, so I was getting ahead of myself. So let's add an annotation here, add annotation, and put C, boop, okay, and the annotation will remember the last text I put, because I'm also going to put a C here. Yeah. Add annotation, C, kapow, right. And now, yes, let's get down to business. To defeat the Hun, we have, oh, I just realized that change doesn't count, because that's in the N, so we only did get a 1 anyway. So CAG, we need to add a note that we're going to change that to AC as well, because we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we actually never made the change. Okay, so we need one more honest-to-goodness change, and GCA alanine will be it. So let's see now, panning over here, GCA, where are you? Hello, GCA. And, well, lo and behold, GCC will, another C, do just famously. It also pushes up to the top of the popularity ladder. So GCC becomes our guy over here. So, yeah. Add this guy, right-click, and add another C. Okay, so that guide RNA is thoroughly stitched up. The changes that we're planning would be more than adequate to totally eradicate the guide RNA recognition. Now, drum roll, let's switch to this brother. So, the PAM site in this case is TGG, so that middle G is the last of this L codon, so that L definitely has a date with destiny. So let's see what we can see about that. So, and up here we go. So, okay, I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. So, CTG, no, but that also has the same end. We want something a bit different. So, CTC, that would do famously. So, CTC, can we go any better than that? Oh, no, no. TTG. Now that is a twofer. Yes, it isn't the craziest popularity, but we get to kill two birds with one stone, which does have its charm. So, TTG. Let's pay attention. So, cobwebs. TTG is what we're changing from. So, it's not TTG. It is CTC. Final answer. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. And add annotation, another C, shocker, and another C on top of that. Add annotation, C. And now, okay, AAT. What does it have to say for itself? All the way down here, AAT. Ah, okay, well that's an easy one because it's only one other choice. AAC it is. So, yes, yet another C. It's almost as if we're having some kind of sale on C's, but let's not. So, add annotation. Boop. Okay, and now one last change to make for the last alteration. TCG. What change can we introduce here? So, TCG will be upwards. TCG. And it's an unpopular one too. Oh, well, oh no, just to be different and to avoid doing yet another C, I'm going to make this TCT. So there. Okay? I'm not unimaginative. TCT. Say it with me. TCT. So, add that annotation. No more C's for you. Here, have a T. Nice spot of T. Okay. So, these are all the changes that I'm going to introduce. So, I'm going to pause the video for just a moment, and I'm going to introduce these changes into a duplicate of the template, which doesn't make for exciting viewing, and then we're going to be right back.